Tucker Carlson, John Braggiotti here. I'm a recent annual subscriber to your platform, as you can see it back here in my background. Reaching out to you from my new home, which is in Montana, in the outskirts of Bozeman, Montana, a little town called Manhattan. You probably know where it is because we have the beautiful Gallatin River that runs through it. And taking from that shot that you have in my background that I have here is you probably know a little something about fishing. So we got some great trout here, and you're invited. So whenever you want to come out here, absolutely you have a place to stay. We have a beautiful place here overlooking the river, and just about an hour and a half from Big Sky and Yellowstone as well. So it is a great spot, as you know, God's country, as we call it. I wanted to reach out to you again, John Braggiotti. You may or may not have heard of my family. My dad was one of the first OSS members and Organization of Secret Service, the beginning of the CIA, and which was started by William Bill Donovan, known as Wild Bill. And as a matter of fact, I put some content together because Dad was among the first group that was hired by Wild Bill Donovan. And as a matter of fact, my dad was hired by him directly before he was sent out to track both the Nazis and then later Soviets. And so I have a significant amount of content that I would like to share with you. I think would be a very interesting discussion point for some of your audience that may be unaware of some of the dangers that we faced, and that frankly those people that fought so hard for our country and represented our country, like my dad, fought for. And so I, in his honor, I wear that OSS tag here, as well as my father-in-law was a full bird colonel in the Marine Corps. Great fellow, passed away fairly recently, and unfortunately he had glioblastoma cancer that he got from Agent Orange in Vietnam. So that's another subject that I also have quite a bit of content on. I don't think I've seen very little, frankly, content out there from even Fox, obviously from the leftist radical media. Very little on what these great soldiers and great representatives of our country that fought for the freedoms that we enjoy, so that we can go out fishing like this in freedom, and very little has been said about them. And many of them, as you know, struggle with life. Many of them are homeless, and now with the huge illegal immigration, important that we don't miss out on that illegal immigration issue. A lot of these veterans are left forgotten on the streets of many of our cities to starve and to die in the streets. And so I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think that you know that very well. I think we need to do more to expose that. I think there's some great young journalists like Nick Shirley that you've probably seen on YouTube and other social media platforms that have done a good job of interviewing people throughout. But there's definitely more that we need to do, and we need to do it more effectively than what has been done. So I'm a big believer that making sure that we continue to put our information out there, make sure that we keep those people educated out there. And I do believe, Tucker, like you, I think, I'm a Christian. I believe that God put us on earth for a reason. My goal is to do as much as I can before before he calls me, so I can be in those nice pastures back there. I do believe heaven is a great place, and we need to do more to, I think, to speak the positive, the optimistic side of life. There's so much negativity out there, and I think that negativity is causing some of this radical, whatever we want to call it, liberalism, leftism, communism, Marxism. But it's really evil, and you and I know this fight. It's very interesting that since I moved to Montana, we moved out here about a year and a half ago from California, and we'll keep that quiet, California. Beautiful state, California, of course. But things got really crazy for us in Southern California, and we decided to really come out and look for something that gave us really the freedom that we've enjoyed, that our parents enjoyed, that our grandparents enjoyed. And by the way, I'm a legal immigrant, so I'm very aware of the importance of immigration in our country, as most of us are. My father was born in Italy. My mother was born in South America with Spanish roots, and both of them Americanized. My dad, as mentioned, served on the OSS, so he immediately took on the role of representing our country, which is a beautiful thing. And that's what it was about. It was about people coming from different parts of the world and becoming American. It was no longer about whether, this person's of this race or that race. I mean, actually, the whole term race, as you well know, has been fabricated. Just like so many terms out there that we need to debunk. And the term gay, as we know, used to be a beautiful term that was used in the 1950s. And you watch the old movies of the 1940s and 50s, and gay represented happiness. Has nothing to do with homosexuality. So how did we allow, as a society, and one thing is to be fair, but another one is to allow the stealing of names, the stealing of terminologies, the stealing of history in order to fit a narrative. And so I have some areas that I'd like to go over with you. Frankly, I'd love to meet with you. I'd love to have you come over, and maybe we do a program out here in Montana. But again, I love Maine. By the way, I went to camp in Maine when I was a kid, and I know that holds a dear place for you in your heart. And as I said, I loved being there. It was one of my best experiences as a young kid to get away from home at age 12 and go to a camp. I went to a tough sailing camp, learned how to sail, learned how to survive in the outskirts, in the countryside, and learn how to make fires and put up tents. And as a 12-year-old, lived to understand that nature is a beautiful thing. We need to do more of that with our kids today and the younger generations that are missing that, and frankly are starving for that. Get them away from all these evil video games. There's no other way to put it. It's not just a different entertainment form. They're evil, and I can tell you that from my background. So my personal background is IT. I've been in IT my whole career. I was very fortunate that I was an athlete and went into college and played sports in college, and then got into computer technology. Took on a job in college with computers, and that led me to get into this field. And so I became a training and support manager for Apple. And then from there on, I've developed a couple of products. Now I'm in the digital infrastructure field, otherwise known as data center, hyperscale, all this stuff that we're hearing. I know that you brought up that data center stuff on some of your latest interviews, and I think it's a very important subject that most people don't understand because it's so secretive, but it holds a lot of the stuff that not only that stuff that's here, but it's stuff that we have that we depend on for our lives, whether it's our finances, whether it's our health care, critical stuff, right? And a lot of people don't understand that if we did have some issues, whether the grid were to partially go down or go down completely, we would have some a serious decay of society in many ways, and unfortunately many ways that we don't even know what the outcome would be. So these are some of the subjects that I have. I have a list of them that I'm going to send to you, and maybe I could help you and help your team put these things together. And Tucker, the other reason I'm reaching out to you is I'm obviously like you, very concerned about where we're going. Not only concerned for our future generations, but frankly, I don't think we have that much time. I wish we could say, our country has, we could survive like this for another 10, 15 years. I don't think we have that. And I think you know that. And that's a pretty scary thought, when you look at your kids in the eyes and say, I don't know if we're going to have a country or if we're going to be in a world in the next 5 years, the next few years. And we know as Christians we can go any time, but we also know as Christians that we can alter by living in God's kingdom. He will give us the graces to live in his grace, in his will, which we're not doing right now. As we know, the wars that are going on that could have been completely unavoidable, whether it was the invasion of Ukraine by Russia and caused by, as you and I know very well, caused largely by this Democrat and again, I call it evil because when we talk about Democrat versus Republican, it's no longer that. I really think there's evil forces that are working around the world to alter the world the way we know it because they think they have a better idea of where this world should be and how it should go, and want to alter it completely. And so we know that the situation in the Middle East was also completely avoidable. And I truly believe that if Trump was president, this would have not happened. So I helped Trump get into the White House in 2016. We had a very strong group in Southern California, of all places. As a matter of fact, we raised over $5 million for him. And we had, a lot of people don't know this, we had millions of votes from California for President Trump in 2016. So you and I know that this election is key, is crucial. And if we don't do something about this now, we may not have a country. We have a chance now. And that's primarily the reason why I'm reaching out to you is because I have a plan. I want to have it pretty under the radar. And I would like to share it with you one-on-one. It's a pretty substantial plan. And it's a plan that we need to get to Trump and his team. And I'm asking for your help to do it. I know Eric and Junior, Don Jr. As a matter of fact, John Jr. is going to be here April 28th, and I'm going to bring my family to that event. But this is a very critical plan. It includes technology, which, as you know, is key right now in voting. And so I'm not going to get into all the details. I'll make it too long now. But I'd like to spend a little bit of time. I think it'll be worth your time to give me that chance and listen to these viewpoints that I had. In hindsight, if I would have done this in 2020, I think Trump would have been elected if some of these areas would have taken place. So I'm going to drop now. Don't want to make this too long. I know how busy you are, but I'm going to drop in my contact information. And I'm reachable 24/7. Obviously, if you reach me on my cell phone, please text me or email me so I know that it's you and to answer. And again, I'm willing to come to you at my expense. I'm not asking for, I'm asking, let's do this and let's make this happen. You did a funny show with Canada, by the way. I didn't know you were partly Canadian, and I love Canada. I spent some time in a little place called Port Carling, the outskirts of Toronto. Not sure if you've been there, but it's a beautiful area surrounding a beautiful lake. My brother-in-law has a place there, and just absolutely fell in love with it. And as you know, we're not very close. We're not far from the border here in Montana. We have probably the most beautiful area in the world. This is God's country. We need to protect it. Tucker, let's do this. We can. God is with us, and He'll help us. Reach out to me. I'll leave you my contact details. God bless, brother. Thank you for everything that you do. I know that it's not easy, and I know that you've been attacked quite a bit. But again, I admire everything you've done. God bless you.